sound muffled on mine. But I mean, long as it's clear on yours. You hear like a static noise?
Yeah, it's muffled. I mean, I can hear though. I can hear.
Yeah, you good though. You can stay in sleep. Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect, Lord willing. It's going to be an edifying camp. You know, and we just had the No Kings protest. They say it was the largest protest in U.S. history. You know, they say it was over 7 million Americans, you know, took place in this protest. So, and I seen videos. You had LAPD running people over. You had this one MAGA supporter. He was at the protest, which was unwise, and it was funny though. I shared it in the chat. One of the No Kings took his glasses off and took off running. And he tried to chase him, he ended up busting his ass, and you know he couldn't see, but that was his glasses. But hey, Lord got, you know, division, man. Heavy division in this country. Okay? And that's why this place ain't gonna stand. Okay, if we could get, you already know what I'm quoting, Luke 18, but also hold Jeremiah 50 and 45, and also hold Jeremiah 28, because another thing to keep our eye on. Okay, them tiny tops, they just resumed the war. Okay, they say that the, you know, I don't want to get the video taken down, but pretty much, you know, the tiny tops, they're saying that their adversary broke the ceasefire agreement, which everybody knew the war wasn't over. You know, everybody knew it wasn't. You know, but they did do a prison swap, which that's what it was all about. You know, to get the hostages home, to pretty much, you know, make them look good. But now back at it, man. And BB said his eyes is fully set on the run, so you know we're gonna see what happens there as well, man. Also, hold second interest 9. But let's get this Jeremiah 50 first and 45. All right. Also hold second interest 9.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon.
Yeah, and this ain't talking about ancient Babylon. Okay, this is talking about new Babylon, which the word Babylon in the Hebrew is babal, which means confusion. This is referring to America. Okay, you gotta go.
And his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation with them. It's desolate with them.
Yeah, and it's clear that it's talking about America, because it wouldn't make sense for that to be ancient Babylon, which today is known as Iraq. You know, it wouldn't make sense that Iraq would be made, you know, would be pulled in by who? Would be made desolate by who? You know, this is talking about America, because the only lands that the scripture speaks about being destroyed, you know, by thermonuclear destruction is the land that we call the so-called Middle East, you know, Israel and that region, you know, because the scriptures say there shall be a great shaking of the land of Israel. And then also Babylon the Great, which is America. Okay? So they're going to be made desolate. The only difference is America will never be inhabited again. Isaiah the 13th chapter. But, you know, Israel is going to be built back up. Okay? That's going to be the headquarters of Yahweh Shai's kingdom. Okay? So we see that that's manifesting though. We see that Israel, and I was having a conversation with ChatGPT earlier about this ceasefire being broken and how it's fulfilling what we just read, you know, because America has pretty much said no matter what, they're going to help Israel. No matter, you know, no matter what the price is, they're always going to stand with them, man. You know? So it makes perfect sense that Israel is going to pull America into a third war because Ukraine, that situation, you know, Trump just had Zelensky come out here and they spoke about, you know, giving him, Tomahawk missiles. Trump said we ain't giving them to him. He had a phone conversation with Putin, and Putin pretty much told him, like, look, if you give them Tomahawk missiles, then there will be war. There will be World War III. So Trump, you know, because they don't want war with Russia, but the Lord is going to make it happen through Israel pulling America into a conflict with Iran, and Iran is backed by Russia and China. So it's all making sense, you know. And Russia hasn't stopped giving Iran cargo planes full of weapons. You know, China is giving them jets and stuff, I believe, you know. And Russia's the strategic defense. What is it, like 20 years, something like that? They signed with Iran. So no matter what, and that's Ezekiel 38, be down into Persia. So we see the prophecies of Yahweh by Shemaiah, man. And that's why the elites is afraid, because they know what the prophecy says, man. The prophecy states that they're going to lose, but they have pride that they can win. Okay, but let's get that Jeremiah 28.
All right, it's Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8.
Yep.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And it's the same thing today. The prophets is prophesying of war, evil, and pestilence, because evil times is here, and it's going to get worse, man. You know, they're talking about, you know, because we're still in a government shutdown. They're saying that they have it covered for October, the EBT, the Section 8, you know, different government benefits. They say in November it's partially covered, but if the government stays shut down after November, then millions of Americans are going to lose their food stamps. They're going to lose their Section 8. They're going to lose their, they're saying WIC is going to be affected, you know. So the main ones is going to be affected by all of this is going to be single mothers, man. Because men are going to adapt. You know, men are going to see, well, I can't afford, you know, to buy anything. So what are my options? The average man in the world, his option is going to be, well, he got to arm up and go take it. You know? That's why the scriptures say, a man have no pity upon his neighbor for the lack of bread and for great tribulation. We there, man. You know? By the end of this year, hey, we gonna be in Isaiah 4:1. You know, the way things is looking, you know, Lord willing, the Lord doesn't, you know, cool things up, because we do fully understand that MOTV has come before the nuclear destruction. You know, before World War III fully, you know, escalates, because this is gonna be the quickest war in history, man. You had the president of Belarus, Lukashenko. He straight up said, yeah, if America gives Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, there will be nuclear war. So this is going to be the quickest war in history, man. It ain't going to be a long conventional war. That's why they're stalling it, which the Most High is stalling it. Because like you said in the chat, Marco Rubio, you know, they got a documentary, whatever, coming out, and he said that there's unidentified flying objects above sensitive nuclear facilities, man. And we seen a video where this guy said there was going to be a nuclear war like 70 times or something like that, but the chicks would always stop it because the Heavenly Father is in control, man. You know?
Hey, there was something else I saw, and they were trying to so-called like fact check it. But that Atlas or whatever they call it, a comet that's coming here or something, and they said the shit going like 130,000 miles or something. I forgot how many how fast it said it was going. But basically they said the shit suddenly stopped.
Yeah.
Which means what? It would defeat their narrative of it being a comet and that it's an actual vessel. So they trying to say they coming out and fact checking it. But we know what it is. It's a massive chariot.
And
if
they
it stopped
toying
like that, it's a massive chariot.
And they toying with Esau because this ain't a thing where we waiting on the Lord to come from, you know, light years away in the galaxy.
To infinity and
Yeah,
beyond.
we waiting on him to, you know, get here, man. if it was the Most High's will, he could just materialize instantly, man. You know? But see, they do that to toy with you. and Esau knows exactly what these vehicles are, man. The elites of evil. They know, and they know what the prophets are saying is true, man. They know they're going to have to fight against an angelic force, man. These devils know that, and they know they're going to lose, but pride has them thinking they can win. Because the Lord, best believe, the Lord gave them some shit on the left-hand side, man. And Esau's about to use it. Like I sent in the chat the other day, this now the U.S. government, they got these helmets where pretty much they got wall hats. You know, if you ever seen wall hats, it's like a box around the skeleton, and that's how you can see. But this helmet that the government has now, and it can detect friendly, it can detect enemies, it can see through walls. So it ain't gonna be nothing for them to install that into their robots. Esau was blessed with the sword, man, and he's gonna go out using that blessing. But you got it, bro. That was it on that. We in the time of, war, man. You still, I believe, Pakistan and Afghanistan is still at war. I haven't seen any updates on that, but they recently clashed. What you got, bro? What are you holding in the Bible?
Luke 11:18, Isaiah 19, 2 Ezra 9.
Let's get the Luke. Because see, these devils, they're divided. Okay? And best believe, yeah, it's a world stage. These different presidents and dictators and leaders, prime ministers, they're all on the same agenda, man. That's why you have over 30 countries pushing digital ID. Because they're all on the same program of pushing a digital system, but there's divisions and who's gonna be in control. And even amongst Edom, because the rest, they're Edomites. The European Union for the most part is all Edomites, man. But they're all divided. And that's why they're not going to be able to rule. For one, because the Most High is putting an end to their rule. But for two, they're divided, man. A kingdom cannot stand if there's division. You gotta go.
This is St. Luke chapter 11 and verse 17. It says, "But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation."
Yeah, because Yahushua was reading the minds, because, he had that spiritual power, man. Well, he got spiritual power because he's still alive. Okay? But during this time, you had our people that, didn't believe, but they were seeing the miracles. They were saying, oh, he's casting out demons in the name of Beelzebub. He's casting out demons in the name of a demon. That's pretty much what they were saying. So that's why Yahushua is making a statement. You gotta go.
It says, and a house divided against a house falleth. Verse 18, if Satan be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub.
Yep. So he's saying, look, how can Satan rule if you're saying I'm casting out demons in the name of demons, then how can stand? How can that doesn't make any sense. That's pretty much what he was saying. We know the physical embodiment of the spiritual demon Satan are you Edomites, man. Because this is Satan's world, but he rules through who? The Edom. Because when the Edomites get taken down, Satan doesn't have any power anymore. He has a season. That's why when Yahushua went to see Legion, what did Legion say to the Lord? He said, art thou come to torment us before our time? Because, it's Satan's time. But Yahushua's time is very close, man. Okay, and the prophets are laying out that red carpet, blowing that trumpet, sounding the alarm of what time we're in. But, just like any other time, nobody wants to listen. And that's cool. But because nobody's going to say that they wasn't warned. That's how the Lord works, man. You don't have no coat for your sin. You can't say, oh, I didn't know, Lord, if you told me. No, the Lord did tell you. But you looked at it with a carnal eye. Oh, who is this nigga? I went to school with this nigga. You know, he younger than me. You know, I ain't about to listen to him. What he talking about? He didn't go to college. He got a bunch of stumbling blocks. But the elect is going to get it. And it's all about the elect anyway. The Lord, you know, he's all about the elect anyway. So if you chose not to hear, really the Lord put it in you to be like that so he can destroy you. See, the Lord got a lot of people that he wants to personally destroy them, man. So he keeps them, you know, especially if you walk by the count several times. Man, I remember it was weeks, bro. We would see the same guys walking by the counts, you know, the same scoffers. They would scoff hard one time, then after that, every time they see us, they just walk by. You know, the Lord got it in for a lot of you, man. You gotta go.
I gotta pick this up.
Kind of.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called.
Yeah, the Lord, he's not calling the noble of this world. Which who would be the noble of this world? What's that J deGrasse, something like, what's his name? Neil deGrasse?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's the guy, he's like into a show. Yeah, the Lord ain't calling guys like him, you know, because he would be considered the wise of this world. You know, guys, you know, Stephen Hawkins, which he did, but you know, the Lord ain't called the noble of this world, the mighty of this world. See, if a nigga like LeBron came out here, man, everybody wanna hear him. Everybody would wanna listen. And that's why they got them on contracts, they got them on video doing shit, because they gotta control them. They're high-paid slaves. You gotta know that.
So you brought up LeBron recently on his wife podcast with Kai and them.
Yeah.
Well, he's with our people. Anyway, that's not the point. But LeBron was on there. He said, yes, it's a lot of ain't shit bitches out there. Because you heard like in the locker room with the guys who tell about the show and stuff with the women. But you got some people in the world, they'll believe LeBron because he said it, but niggas be saying it for the past few years. They say, oh, LeBron said it, so I believe what LeBron said. Like, people that simple.
Yeah, because that's the rich man. If you can grab that in your pocket real quick, we can bring that out and then I'll let's bring this out real quick. Sirach 13 and 20. Yeah, we can start at verse 20. We can start at verse 20. The point is in 23 though. But yeah, if a nigga like LeBron was out here, man, everybody listen, man. But that'll never happen because for one, the Lord ain't dealing with that nigga.
I would like
And for two, that nigga, man, them tiny tots got so many video nigga, man. Man, that nigga will never get out of line, man. They had to pull Snoop to the side. Hey, nigga, nope. And call all your hoes outside. You know, hey, they had to pull Snoop to the side. They probably had a rabbi, you know, some rabbi nigga, you know, sit him down like how they did Nick Cannon. You know, hey nigga, you know you with our agenda. Got you on video. You know, now you got to do another video. Best believe Esau be punishing these niggas behind the scenes. That's why they be scared to speak out. Esau got them in a chokehold, man.
But see, everybody coming out on TikTok now saying when they finding out how evil these small hats are, they saying, oh, we owe Kanye an apology. We called him crazy. He was just before his time. But see, even then, the prophets have been speaking on this, but you still look at us like we nothing. You know, but we see a guy like Kanye, he stood up. Yeah, he was telling some truth. You know, but now everybody's seeing this devil for who he is, man. And guess what? Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets into his servants to prophets.
And the Lord always deals with the underdog, man. Always, because King David wasn't considered to be king. He was by Samuel the prophet didn't even consider King David. He was looking at his brothers like, oh, surely this is the guy. Surely this is him. The Lord said, nope, that ain't him. He said, look not, because you know I don't see this man see it. And he sent them to anoint King David, man. So that's how the Lord operates. The Lord deals with the him, not him. No way, him. That guy.
And that's
The
why.
Lord is with him.
Yep.
Hey, Wisdom of Solomon in the
The
fifth
fifth
chapter.
chapter.
How is he
How-
numbered
yeah,
among the
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
him?
Yep. That's the spirit.
That's how the Lord works, man.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. You got it. You can say
No, I was married to you.
it. Oh, you was gonna say something?
No, I was mentioning
Oh.
hey, that was the spirit. It's all in the fifth chapter.
Alright, this is Rock chapter 20, chapter 13, verse 20. It says, as the proud hate humility, so do the rich abhor the poor.
Yeah, the proud hates humility, man. Especially women. Like, a lot of things can be solved if you just apologize. If you just humble down and just accept that you was wrong. Then you can move on. Cause like I was listening to the Dallas count and they were going into that. You can't move on or build with someone that's proud. They can't, accept their mistakes. If they refuse to acknowledge that they were wrong, they're never going to change. It's always going to be problems because they're never going to change, man. That's why I get to a point, you gotta just cut certain people off, man, or the Lord will remove them from that. Because you can't build with someone that's proud, man. And that's why a lot of relationships don't last. Like now you got bitch J-Lo talking about, yeah, I was married 4 times, I was engaged 7 times, but they could never love me. Pretty much she refused to accept that she's the problem. Like, bitch, you've been slutted. You can't.
Was with A-list celebrities.
Yeah, and was at them parties with Diddy, like
Drake Smash, A-Rod,
everybody didn't hit
Mark
that.
Anthony.
And the tiny tots behind the scenes was hitting.
Yeah.
Everybody didn't hit that.
Shit.
So you just like the scripture say, she that liveth in pleasures is dead while she liveth. You just a walking corpse, man.
They call herself G from the block.
Yeah.
From the block.
She for the streets.
Bruce Wayne was tired of her ass.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
that motherfucker, bro, there's a video, like, he going to, like, they getting out the car, and you can tell he vexed with this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like, get this bitch away from me.
Yeah, because she only good for one
And
thing, one thing only.
Yeah, man, like, you the issue, bro. Like, women like her, Halle Berry, even like Nia Long and shit, like, who like, was like early 2000s, late 90s beauty and shit. These older heads be like, oh, she's still bad. I'm like, no, she's fucking old, bro. What are you talking about?
Like, that's this world. Yeah, she's bad. Man, I could go to Walmart right now and see 15, 20 more better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but this society exalts women. Like, oh, she's just so fine. Like, she's the only woman that looks like that. Like, the Lord created variants of these women, bro. There's a lot of if you like a bitch that look like Ice Spice, there's a lot of variants of Ice Spice.
That's the fucking spirit, bro. I was just about to mention. I'm like, I was at an Issacharite restaurant and I saw an Ice Spice variant, bro. And shit was finer than Ice Spice, bro. Speaking fluent Spanish and shit.
Wow, that's
cute
the spirit,
bitch, bro.
That's the spirit.
Cute.
You can't make this up.
That was the spirit, bro. Yeah,
But this society, mainly through social media, it exalts these women, and they can never be told they're wrong because they can hit the block button. They can delete the comment.
Oh, like this new thing. I don't know if y'all saw it real quick. Not to veer too much off topic, but there's this big controversy with this chick, this Edomite chick, because she reported to DoorDash. She's a DoorDash driver. She went to go drop somebody food or just got food off. He's passed out unconscious on his couch, but he was exposed. So his pants was down or some shit. Who knows what he was doing, but his door was like creaked open. But she pulls out her phone and goes and records the guy and snaps a pic and tries to she basically said she got sexually assaulted by the guy.
Wow.
Everybody, some people were on her side at first, but now she getting in trouble because, like, bitch, first of all, you went into this man's house.
Yeah.
When you did, all you had to do was drop the food off and
Yeah. Yeah.
She like, oh, look at this guy, he's exposed himself, indecent exposed. He's in his fucking crib.
Just running to the internet. That's why the internet gotta be shit. Man, the Lord gonna stop this shit.
Yeah, man. So that's like
He gonna stop this shit,
That's
bro.
the big thing.
Everything that happens, they always gotta run to the internet, man. And your crime videos, cause you can't afford your bills, you can't afford. Hey, the Lord about to take away all that, man. The love of many is gonna wax cold, man. But once the Lord takes away this social media, it served its purpose. The Lord did want to use it, for the word to go out, but you know, now that the elect is you know, sealed, if not already, it's no need for it anymore. And when the Lord takes that away, hey, that's gonna be the beginning of order coming back. But that's why they have a massive ego and pride, is because of social media, man. But you gotta go.
All right. This verse 21. A rich man begin to fall is held up for his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his own.
Back to the what the fuck? What's it called again?
I forgot. I don't know.
They got that shit on GTA.
And that motherfucker look authentic too.
Yeah, this shit is crazy. It's a lot, bro.
Verse 21. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust also away by his friends.
Yeah, because when you up, and you got niggas even in the world that say, you know, when you up, you know, everybody with you. You know, and when you down, you know, everybody, you know, pretty much turn on you. You know, but it say the rich, when he fall, he got, you know, people to help him. You know, mainly amongst, you know, Esau. You know, even some Jakes, you know, I've heard, you know, Floyd giving people money and shit like that. Like, but when you poor, man, and you fall, hey, man, it's a cold world for an Israelite, man. You know, this world can really break you, man. You know, if it wasn't for this truth, man, this truth really keeps you sane, bro. You know, and that's why the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Because if you ain't got this truth in that day, see now, you know, yeah, you can lose your mind, but you can still, you know, society is still functioning. But when this place fully collapses, like, people just gonna lose their sanity, man. You know? But you gotta go.
Verse 22. When a rich man is fallen, he have many helpers, and speak of things not to be spoken, yet men justify him.
Yeah, a rich person can spew whatever madness out of his mouth, and people will commend him. You know? Because he's a rich guy, he got money, so people would listen and take advice from him. You gotta go.
But like that whole thing with that Jay-Z, when you take the money or take a dinner with Jay-Z,
Oh, yeah.
you think, oh, just because Jay-Z got money, he'll give you some secret knowledge that allow you to get money. It don't work like that.
It don't. I'll take the money. Fuck that nigga. I'm gonna eat with that nigga. You eat with that nigga, he on the phone, he ain't even paying attention to you. B called me. You know, that nigga ain't, he might tell you some shit you can find on the internet, some worldly, inspirational. Hey man, you just gotta believe, man. You just gotta work hard, believe, and the result, you know, just some shit, some simple shit like that. And a nigga will write that shit down. Yeah. Jay-Z told me this, man.
They got
gotta
TikToks
believe.
on that shit.
What?
Like people have
Them inspirational speech.
Yeah.
You just gotta believe. You just gotta,
Hold on.
you know, you know what I'm talking. You just gotta believe in yourself, man. You gotta work. You got this vain. What the scriptures say, vain jangling. That's what that is, babble. You know. Like you said, like he gonna tell you some shit that can make you a millionaire overnight. That's one of the videos. That's the spirit. I said that. Like nigga pull out the book.
They told him to take the money. Take the money.
That ain't really nothing compared to the grand scheme, but to somebody that don't got it, that's a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Like mine, mine.
He said, let's do it for it.
Yeah, that's
Four is
crazy.
a
seen them inspirational videos of like Rick Ross or like, you know what I'm talking about? And he be like, yeah, man, you just gotta believe. You know, you just, you know, all that selling out he did, but he ain't gonna tell you that. All that selling out he did, you know, the rituals, you know, they ain't gonna mention none of that. They just gonna make it seem like they just through hard work, they got there. Nah, nigga, you did a lot of bending over, man. You had to sacrifice family members and shit to get where you at. You ain't just get that money, man. You ain't just put some rhymes together and made success. You had to sell out, nigga. But they ain't gonna tell you that. They just gonna tell you, yeah, man, just work, just believe. You know, pray to God, man. You know, pray to God. You know, some shit like that.
You understand? Since the poor man slipped and gave rebuke him too, he spake wisely and couldn't have no place.
Yeah, because the poor man, hey, the Lord on a very rare occasion, he'll deal with a rich man. Very, very rare, man. You know, for the most part, it's gonna be, you know, a poor man. Because in the book of James, it says the Lord hath chosen the poor of this world rich in faith. You know, when you poor, when you ain't got nothing, you can be rich in faith. But when you got riches, you don't want to give the Lord no time. You want to enjoy your riches. You gotta go.
Verse 23, when the rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look, when he saith, they install it to the cloud.
Yeah, when a rich man speak, everybody wanna, oh, he said that. That's why they make these like little dirt quotes, NBA YoungBoy quotes, you know, hood quotes. They, you know,
Philosophers.
yeah, making it like they philosophers. You got a quote, and then it's an image of this nigga with a mic in his hand, and some chains on, pants sagging, and it's a quote.
Yeah, you see that a lot on Facebook. Be a quote and be giving a young boy right behind it.
Like these are wise, like you said, philosophers.
But they used to do that shit with Chief Keef.
Yeah.
He used to sit on the couch with that Draco between his lap, bro.
Yeah, and it's a quote. There ought to be an image of Lil Baby holding a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And then it's a quote, you know, believe in yourself and you will make it. You know, and people, it got 1,000 shares, you know, because folly is set in great dignity. But that goes to the scripture when the rich man speak, because it's all because they got money, man.
Yeah.
You know, if they ain't had no money, man, they'll be losers, man. Like G Herbo chick told him to his face, if he wasn't G Herbo, she wouldn't be with him. Something like that, she said. You know, and he was all shocked. Like, nigga, how can you be shocked? See, a lot of men don't deal in reality either. You can finesse the game if you accept reality. Yeah, she just. That's why you do have some guys. They put all their finances in like their mom name or something. So when the chick divorced him, then she got more than he got. So she gotta pay him. You got some guys that they do that because it's all every relationship in Babylon the Great has an expiration date. I don't give a damn how good y'all are, how good y'all get along, how good it is in bed. No relationship here is forever, man.
That nigga Curry on the ropes.
Yeah, Curry, that nigga, man.
That nigga on the ropes.
That nigga, bro. She was on some kind of podcast or whatever. This dude came out with drinks. He had his shirt off.
That was TV.
She was gonna pull off her ring.
She was on daytime TV doing that shit.
You cannot take that shit lightly. But see, that nigga, she'll manipulate him. I was just playing, baby. Nah, bro. Red flags like that, you gotta take that shit serious, man. You know, but a lot of them athletes be like we spoke about one time, their whole life is just basketball, so they really ain't got no backbone. You know, they'll just take whatever from a woman. But no, man, because eventually, if y'all relationship is good, it's always gonna be jealousy. It's gonna be a bitter, miserable bitch somewhere that wanna ruin it, that wanna break it apart because she's miserable.
Hey, the biggest example of that is Brady. Yeah, Tom Brady got more rings, Super Bowl rings, than teams got rings. And what his bitch was trying to tell him to basically stop playing so he could be at home with her, and she was fucking the judo teacher, right? You know, Still got divorced. Now she got that she done had his baby, the new motherfucker's baby. You know, but that's why he like retired. Then he came out of retirement. He was like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, he stood on his square. You know, and then he went and got another ring or whatever. But
Yeah, and that shows you like it don't matter even if you got the you can have all the money in the world. This bitch still gonna leave you. She's still gonna leave you, man. And it's because the Most High wants us to see how it felt because we did it to him. So that's why he took our woman. And Tom Brady is a Jake. So when it happened to Esau, man, fuck Esau. Esau don't even give a damn. You know, like that nigga Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, his ex-wife took billions from that nigga. They don't give a damn though. What you got to do?
Right? It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
Yeah, like who the hell is this nigga? Who's this guy? I ain't about to listen to him. Hey, but that's how the Lord set it up because when all hell break loose, it's gonna click in your mind. Damn, that guy was, them guys, man, they was warning us. They was telling, because all we doing is warning you. We truly don't give a damn if you listen or not. Hey, we come out here, we ain't expecting nobody to come up. Hey, look, ain't nobody even walking by, man. We don't give a damn. Hey, we out here, hey, the Lord see our work. The Lord eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Hey, we trying to get mercy. So we don't give, hey, if you don't want mercy, hey, that increase our chance. Because, hey, 12,000 out of each tribe, plus a multitude of believers, hey, that increase our chances if you don't accept. Hey, so we ain't upset. Yeah, shit, we trying to get in. So, hey, we gonna tell you, though, if you walk by, because we got to get the blood off of our hands, man. Like it says in Ezekiel, if we ain't tell them, then the blood will be on our hands. The Lord requires us, since he gave us this knowledge, beginning with our apostles and elders on down, he requires us to teach, man. He requires us, like I believe Yahweh Shai said, to whom much is given, much is required. It's somewhere in the scriptures, So the Lord requires us to do this. And this is, our humiliation as well, because the scriptures say humility comes before honor. So we have to be humiliated. Yahweh Shai was humiliated before he got his glory. So they're gonna put us all over the news. They're gonna make us look bad, man. But hey, the Lord gonna be with us, man. And that's when our lives change for the better, man. I always use this example like X-Men. They're regular people, but when they realize they got their power, their lives change instantly. The government's coming for them. They gotta hide out with Professor Xavier. In a way, that's the elect. Because when the Lord manifests that power, best believe, I even spoke with Chad about it. Esau is gonna come full force, man. Just like in X-Men. And he gonna be pulling shit out that he ain't even been showing on these people. He gonna come with it, man, because he knows, like, I gotta kill him. Lord gonna be with us, man. We're gonna use that power to defend ourselves and also other members of the elect, that's with us, man. But that wasn't right there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. That X-Men, which you recently saw X-Men Apocalypse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scene when Apocalypse, he made them launch them missiles, man. That's the Most High, because the Most High, like the scriptures say, they shall think of evil thought. The Most High is going to make them do it. Because they don't want to have a nuclear war. But the Most High is going to make it happen. Just like Apocalypse made it happen, man. He made them hit the button. He made it. But Esau always stops it in these movies. Nah, you ain't stopping the wheel no more. What you got, bro?
Yep. Back in 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 26. For you see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise.
Yeah, the Most High chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, because we're considered fools. We out here, we ain't got the best, garments. Obviously we're in captivity. In the kingdom, it's gonna be way different. But we come out here, you know, we wear our fringes with, you know, the border of blue, because that's in our culture, you know. But we're looked at as fools. But the Lord uses us to confound the wise. You got guys like Vocab coming up the counts, getting cut. You know, hey, we done had guys, man, wait. Remember that old guy? He would wait for us every week. And we came out one time, he was waiting, bro. He had to print out the scriptures. this motherfucker printed out scriptures, bro. Like, you could have just brought a Bible. This nigga went to a library and printed out scriptures and got cut. He just knew, I got him. And got cut up, man. Left with his tail between his legs, man. The Lord used the like I said, the foolish to confound the wise, man. You know, you done had pastors, you know, come up the camps, get cut up, you know. They ain't even know that. I didn't know that was in the Bible. What you reading? Hey, we had a lot of that. What you reading from? Let me go there with you. Let me go there with you. Reading along.
Oh,
damn, it really says that. They don't want to accept it because we say it. But when they see it's like, nah, and then it's like, nah, you taking it out of context. You're taking it out of context. That ain't what that means. It's some scriptures is plain, man. It says what it says, man. You know? You got it, bro.
yep. It says, and the Most High have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Yep.
And the base things of the world, and the things which are despised, have the Most High chosen, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are.
Yeah. So the Lord, He chose the weak things of the world, once again, you know, to confound the things that are mighty. Because, he's confounded. Because he's sitting on the throne. You know, in his mind, he gonna rule forever. But we telling him, like, nope. Them vehicles that you're seeing above these nuclear facilities, these vehicles that the CIA been knew about, these are the vehicles that's coming to bring your destruction and salvation of the elect of Israel. And they know it, man. They know it. But they're going to be on the hush-hush about it. It's going to come a time where they're going to persecute brothers, and, you know, some of us going to be brought before, you know, CIA agents, you know, different, you know, federal agents, you know, high-ranking. Hey, some brothers may be brought before the president, man. You know? And they gon' hey, like, I believe Elder Ariella had a dream that him and another brother, I think he said they was in Russia, they was somewhere. They was brought before the ruler, and you know, they were giving them drinks and food, and, you know, pretty much giving them hospitality. And he was saying they was in chill mode. And then Elder Yashawaba, he had a dream where he said that him and some other brothers were brought, and they were being asked questions about the scriptures. So that time is gonna come, man. They gonna want to know. But hey, you know, if for brothers that, you know, that's their lot, they gonna tell you like it is. You know, we in the downfall of Esau Edom. Okay, which is the beginning of Jacob. And they can feel it in their spirit, bro. These Edomites can feel it in their spirit, bro. They know that Jacob's up next, man. What you got it, bro?
That might be that on that.
Yeah. We had Sacred Design. What else we had?
Isaiah 19.
Oh, Kai. Let's get Isaiah 19 first. Then we get Sacred Design.
This is this is Isaiah chapter 19. Are you Sacred Design?
What you had in Isaiah 19?
About the Lord said that that was one more into.
Let's get Sacred Design first. Isaiah 19. Because it'll kind of.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently.
Just then, the Tiny Tots launched a major attack, another attack, and it says BB has ordered the closure of all crossing and the suspension of humanitarian aid. So he about to storm them out again, man.
They got their hostages now. They got the hostages back.
It's back on.
Now they about to full on.
They about to take that shit now.
Yeah, it's over.
They about to take that shit now.
And that also just further puts the spotlight on these devils and these Americans of how they move, man. Like they were supposed to come to agreement, you know, that's supposed to be the end, and now they going in, they got what they wanted, and now they about to go in and do what they want to do anyway.
Yeah,
So best believe the world sees that shit. They still see it.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what Egypt and what these other neighboring countries, what are they gonna do? You know, they spoken out like they're against it. You know, we gonna see what we gonna see what happens, man. What you gotta go?
It says, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Yeah, so we're in that time, man. Okay, so like read that one more time.
It says from the top.
Yeah.
Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So that's the time we're in. The Most High is visiting this place, and how is the Lord known? By his judgments. You gotta go.
It says, verse 3, therefore when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
And that's why I wanted you to go into that, because we're seeing uproars of the people. Earthquakes too. Okay, there's all kind of earthquakes, man. But you know, that whole No Kings protest yesterday, that was the biggest protest in U.S. history, man. You know? So we're seeing uproars of the people. And I ran into a liberal the other day. He gave me a watermelon. I forgot to get it off my work truck. He had a garden in his bag. He gave me some rosemary. He gave me I leave it in the truck for the smell. But you know, me and him had to talk about, you know, civil unrest and, you know, what's going on, and, you know, Trump's personal military. You know, we were speaking about all that, and then he was like, you know, we were talking about the times we in. He was like, yeah, if they see you know, because I'm a so-called black man, he was like, they ain't really going to ask you questions. They just going to, you know, grab you up. He was like, if they see me, and I was like, nope. I said, they're going to come for you too. You know? See, it ain't even about skin color no more.
Nope.
The elite, if you don't comply with their agenda, they're going to label you a domestic T. Okay? And also, you know, if you don't have that device, then they're going to execute you. So it ain't even about skin color.
Hey, some more news right quick. There was a shooting overnight at Oklahoma State University.
Oh yeah, I said that in the chat.
Okay, yeah. Leaving multiple man, all these man, Esau be going in and shooting these damn schools up and shit, man. But that's Esau, man. That's Esau all day. Now, there's been some shootings amongst these HBCUs, but even I think that's like some setup shit, you know? So just hey.
Crazy when them shootings, bro. It was like 1 year, like in the first 3 months of the year, like down there almost like a couple hundred.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that Esau think when the judge is shovel and all that hell breaking news, he think he gonna go and skate. Think like he got a so-called white get out of jail free card.
Like I said, this article in the chat, it says President Trump urges Ukrainian President Zelensky to accept Russia's terms for ending the war, warning that President Putin says he would destroy Ukraine if they did not agree. And this is just because the United States has to find a way out of this war without looking weak. So he's making it like he's telling Zelensky to accept it, when really the United States has to accept it. Because Marco Rubio admitted it on TV that the war in Ukraine is a proxy war between NATO, mainly America, versus Russia. So, you know, Trump trying to make it like, you know, Zelensky, you need to sit down and accept his terms. You gotta do.
He said, you're gambling with World War III.
Oh, he did say that. You're gambling with World War III. You know?
But again, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people of the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Yeah, the end is manifest, man. We're clearly in the end of Esau's kingdom. Clearly. So, Esau is on his last leg, man. This nigga ain't got long. This nigga, he think he gonna rule forever. He think that nobody can stop him, nobody gonna take him down. The Most High is gonna take you down. The Most High put you on a level to take you down, to show his power, man. And it's all gonna be known when it's all said and done, man. Your lies is there's a time limit, man. You didn't, like the scriptures say, he didn't deceive the whole world. He got everybody thinking that the Savior looks like him. He's the chosen people of the Lord. That we are just, destructible. Pretty much how he is, he put that on us. Like we just are murderous, people. That's you, man. But the Lord is about to take you down. And when the Lord take you down, the whole world is going to wake up to all your lies, man. It's like, damn, this nigga actually ruled? He's just a liar. He's a liar. He doesn't want to accept accountability. He hates righteousness. He loves disorder. He loves to do things opposite of what the Lord wants. Oh, the Most High, he didn't make trees right. Let's cut them down and put up our version, our fake ass trees. Most High, he didn't, pretty much in the eyes of Esau, the Most High fucked everything up. In Esau's eyes, but you gotta go.
Verse 5, it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Yeah, the end is manifest. Everything in this world has a beginning and an end. And the end is manifest. Okay? And once this place goes down, Yahweh Shai will receive his throne here on earth, man. Okay? And the house of David will be fully established. King David will be king number 1. Okay? And there will be no more wars. There will be peace on the earth. And there will be no end to Yahweh Shai's kingdom. His kingdom is the only kingdom that the scripture speaks about having no end. Okay? You got it, bro.
Yes, Lord. Verse 6 says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just, thought about the statue in the book of Daniel, the head of gold, it goes into, even when you get to the toes, it says, part iron and part clay, because going into, you got some strong nations and you got some weaker nations. When you look in NATO, when you look at, you got powerful militaries. Turkey is the second powerfulest military in NATO. Okay, and then you got, some weaker, nations. That's why I say the toes part iron, part clay. But then it goes into, that stone that, destroyed it. The Lord is coming to destroy this man's rulership, man. To knock him out of power. Okay, and this is going to be felt throughout the whole earth. See, this ain't going to be something to where right now you got all of these things going on and people are clueless. People don't even know what's going on. Most of these people don't even know that the Tiny Tops just resumed the war. They don't care because it's not happening here. But when the Lord brings this second death, it's going to be felt throughout, because the scripture said the earth shall reel to and drunken. So this is going to be felt throughout the whole earth, man. Everybody's going to know what just happened. And then the whole world is going to witness the return of Yahushua, man. That's why I say every eye shall see him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, because they're going to know what time it is, man. But you got it, bro.
It says, verse 7, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yeah, the elect were ordained from the beginning, man. You know, the elect were already handpicked to be delivered from the second death. You know, and this ain't a thing where, you know, people, I gave my life to the Lord. The Lord has to choose you. Yahweh said it. You have not chosen me, I have chosen you. You know? But let's get that, let's get that Isaiah 19. And I'm gonna pass it to my brother. I need to be able to watch shoes through the window sign, man. You see the thing there? What do you get?
This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
And the modern day Egyptians are the Americans. Okay, this place is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So the Lord is going to have civil unrest here in America.
And they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
Yep, civil unrest. You know, because these so-called liberals, he was the first Bernie Sanders supporter I fucking ran into. Because when he was telling me he's a liberal, I was thinking in my head, oh, he wanted Kamala to win.
Wow.
But then he was like, yeah, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter. Who the fuck is a Bernie Sanders supporter, bro?
He was on the news saying that Trump is taking over the country like military troops style.
Yeah.
Like he's telling the truth. Like,
and then he also was saying, yeah, we need to stop sending all this money over there to Israel. They never gonna let that nigga in.
Yeah, hell no.
You know, that nigga, he's just controlled out. You know, he's used for a purpose as well. You know, to stir up emotion. You know, but yeah, that's what that's talking about, man. You know, civil unrest, which, you know, a lot of people is waking up that it's, hey, we on the verge of it, man. But what's really gonna kick it off is hyperinflation, man. See, as long as people can eat, can drink, can go home, people might protest, but it ain't gonna go really ape shit until people backs is pushed against the wall. You have to lose your food. That's the main thing that's gonna cause people to get violent, man. Is when you can't get the 4 for 4 no more. You can't get the extra crispy. You can't go to McDonald's.
Hey, they said people to the spirit. They said people that have been financing, because you know that became a big thing. People financing their groceries and shit.
Yeah.
Like on Klarna and fucking Afterpay and shit. Yeah. They said people are defaulting on those.
Damn.
They not even making their payments on the borrowed groceries, man.
Damn.
So that's how you know the economy's fucked over.
It's fucked. And then prices is gonna continue to go up. See, them tariffs is still into effect. Ain't nobody really been speaking about the tariffs that's already in effect. Now he's talking about putting 500% on China. And Xi Jinping clapped back and said, y'all do that, we putting 1,000%. It's a world state. And now Trump is blaming China for wanting to crash the world, global economy. It's all, they're all in the same game. They want to push this digital. In China, they already have a social credit system. They already pretty much, hey, all they need to do over there is just push the device. They're already, they say over 90% of Chinese don't use cash. And this was like a year ago, I seen like a year or two, But yeah, man, what was I saying before that? Kind of lost my train of thought. But yeah, civil unrest is coming, man. But with that, man.
Isaiah 65. Basically, man, on a financial standpoint, China owned America, man. So, they buying a lot of land, right, in the Midwest. All right, so man, when everything was shit, man, it's gonna be a lot going on. they already view America as a corporation. All right, so it's like you look at it on the business standpoint, America is in the negative. All right, they owe trillions of dollars to other countries, man. China being the main one. All right, so hey man, they want what they owe. Basically, they eating out of these other niggas' hands. But Trump is that veil for Esau to not see that this is not their country no more. All right, so they trying to rile up Esau to be in the spirit to fight. But who they gonna be fighting against? Like their own citizens. Man. All right, that's why a lot of people. You look at what's going on in Chicago and other places. Those are basically militarized police officers. All right, they militarized police, which they've been wanting to do that for years, and they finally did it. All right, so they're gonna be coming against their own citizens. All right, so a lot of them gonna quit, not be with it when they get that order, when they gotta gun them down. What they say in Star Wars Order 66. All right, so don't best believe that they got orders. Hey, that's why I'm gonna do that through the spirit too. Look back into that big beautiful view. All right, cause that's hidden in that big beautiful view. All right, somewhere in there, man. So they gonna get them orders to come against the citizens, man. I ain't gonna know what's gonna hit y'all, man. Y'all had no keys, protests, all that shit don't mean shit, man. They had this 30, 40, then probably the whole inception of America being founded. They already had this in the works right now. They had all this in the works. All right, so this country's about to go, man. You got the government shut down, which it's always happened every 4 or so years. All right, so hey, well, whether it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna either keep it shut down permanently or come back with an agreement to where which they already got that in the works. Me having food stamps way back when, I was reading paper while I was sitting in there in the office thing, and they had it in there about eventually you're gonna have to get a certain device to have it. So if you pay attention to read and see, they already got this enacted in legislation or in paperwork. People don't read, especially Jay. They already gotten it written down on paper what they gonna have to happen in the very near future. But y'all don't see it coming. All right, who got us here 65?
I got you. What you want to
above where it says that servant shall eat.
verse 12?
Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 65, verse 2. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not.
Yeah, so Lord ain't talking about his people. But he said he gonna number y'all to the sword, man. All right, who was the sword for the Lord, man? Well, before Yahweh Shai comes, Esau's gonna be that sword. All right, the Lord is gonna use Esau to be that sword to come down to you 2/3, mainly here in Babylon, and that's why y'all feeling the crunch, mainly the so-called Negro women. All right, feeling that crunch. All right, they crying out, complaining about not having, food stuff. All right, they're latched on, all right, to this economy, to this system. All right, they sucking off the teats of this place. All right, they going down to Egypt for help. All right, Egypt, Babylon is their daddy, man. Big, not sound, but the government is their daddy. All right, Esau is their daddy. All right, so the Lord is gonna number them to the slaughter, man. And a lot of these single mothers got a lot of YNs and Pookies and Ray Rays that they taking care of. They selling they food stamps to other kids. They starting to crack down on that. So they use this as a way to crack on the tribes. Man, you don't really hear about them cracking down on Esau on food stamps. They do whatever the hell they want to in this thing. All right, but hey man, they're gonna eventually get to cracking down on them, because it'll get to a point where they can't just be super hypocritical and just crack down on Jake. They don't have to look the eye and you Edomites too. All right, getting over and pimping on the system, man. It's gonna affect everybody. All right, guys.
13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be shamed.
Yes, so Lord's servant's gonna eat and drink. Alright, but hey, you people, the Lord gonna make you tribes ashamed, man. He gonna make y'all feel it. Alright? Because for the most part, man, the men Israelite men, mainly, a lot of us don't get nothing from the system, from the government. Or everything we have, it was all about a sweat of our brow, man. Alright? And the word I always be thinking of is that, mainly the Israelite men or men in general, we have to have that spirit of freelancing, man, where, hey, man, we got to really go out there and get it however we see fit, man. Whether you got to have side hustles, all these different things, all right? That's how we go and fend for ourselves. So in that fashion or form of famine, we don't have to even be affected by it, because we're not receiving benefits from the system. We don't rely on the system, either to help us pay our rent, to help, put food on our table. But now, when they should have been did this, a lot of stuff that they're doing, they should have been in that. All right, the whole thing about get food stamps, you can't get a whole lot of sugary stuff. You gotta actually get real food. All right. What else talking about taking certain things out of the food and all these things, out of some of the poisons was like say like yellow five or some shit, taking all that out of the food. They should have been doing that, man. They waiting too late. All right, so they be gonna get the damn out, so they just telling Esau what they want to hear. All right, before they pull the plug. But back to the point, man. Hey, with this whole shutdown, a lot of men really not feeling it in the aspect of, your able getting affected or certain things. All right, mainly women. All right, y'all through the spirit, man, women gonna feel these effects faster than the men. All right, the sword, famine, pestilence, destruction. All right, you women gonna feel it first. All right, when men gonna be out here just grabbing you up. All right, y'all got a lot to worry about first before it hit the man. All right.
Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
We're going to be rejoicing for what? We've been out here prophesying to you people, and y'all didn't want to hear, man. That's why I say whether you hear or forbear, man, you ain't going to stop this judge from raining out. All right, so we're going to be rejoicing when Jacob's trouble, we already in it, and all these different things will come to pass. We're going to be rejoicing. That's why our salvation is going to be nearer than we believe. The salvation is near. All right? But hey, as long as we've been prophesying ways, we ain't out here trying to get hordes of women come up and listen and take heed. All right, the Lord is dealing with the Israelite men first and foremost, but a lot of you, especially today on this Sunday, you got a lot of Judas going up to the restaurant / bar. All right, and they scantily playing like hell and shit. So they basically gonna settle on their knees and live in pleasures until the hyperinflation. All right, because the spirit of a lot of these women, all right, they can be going through hell at home, like straight up hell, like their kids going through it. But they put up a facade or an image, but oh yeah, they got it. They got new Chanel bag or some shit. All right, they dressed up nice and they go out, and they don't really got it like that. But the household is struggling, but they present an image like, they just living it up, man. But the fake's gonna be exposed, man. Hey, you come to a point where shit gonna get raised up so high that, hey, man, y'all women, y'all gonna have the appearance of y'all being free, man. It's not gonna no more. You ain't gonna be able to put up that lie and that facade anymore. All right. Look, you got because one of my favorite junk food, which I try and eat a lot of, like hot fries or something like that. Them shit's $3. Hey, what it's gonna do is make Jay cut back on this shit and get fat in food, man. this shit keep going up, man. Cause hey, I see through the spirit, man. That shit gonna go up to like 5,
Oh yeah.
10, man. Cut that shit off, man. Gas, you know, constantly fluctuating. And so you gonna wake up one morning, gas gonna be like $10, $12.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna get crazy out here, man.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Shit, we all in the flesh, man.
Yeah.
Shit, I fucked up last night, man. I don't even wanna. I was fucked up. I should make this. Yeah. Verse 14. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
Yes, y'all gonna have vexation of spirit, cry for sorrow of heart. But the Lord's servant gonna sing the joy of heart. Alright, we're gonna be in a joyful spirit, man. Through the spirit, man. And the Lord gonna have us good, man. And hey, you know, you got houses that got wine cellars and all these different things. You know, so hey, the Lord gonna give us access to certain things that you people can't get a hold of. Alright, so we gonna be good, man. You know? Y'all people gonna be through, especially the ones that rely on government for help. That rely on Esau. Alright? Which we all, man, we all don't have our own, we don't have our own gardens and ways to get our own food. We all gonna be affected when they start shutting down these stores. Alright? You know, but hey, Jake, y'all really gonna be hit hard, especially the ones in the hoods, man. Alright, just like when the hurricane came through here, man, hey, the places where the impoverished Jakes was at, man, their stores was, hey, they ain't have nothing, man. But if you go where Esau at, man, they are still stocking the shelves, man. I went up to, when I stayed closer to the city, I went to the Publix closer by, man, they was still restocking that shit, man. But you go to certain ones out the way, like sort of out the city, man, hey, they barely didn't have nothing, man.
Yeah, right. I remember when that shit still was like a crazy experience.
Yeah.
Cause it happened like going into Friday and shit. And I remember like once the storm actually passed and everybody got up and went to the store and shit, the power was still out and they were just trying to sell everything that was like non-perishable. No, they took all the non-perishable shit away. Like they was oh yeah, I'm sorry, I got the word mixed up. They were selling all the non-perishables and they had the perishables blocked up. But people were still in like long ass lines and shit to get food and shit. Like they weren't immune either. You know, everybody, like when judgment happened, man, hey, that's why it's really gonna go down to, you know, if Yahweh Shai has his mercy rested upon you or not, man. You know, you could be financially set up in a spot and you can still get fucked up.
Yep.
This second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Yeah. So soon the storehouse is gonna be suddenly found empty. Man, you gonna go wake up, ain't gonna be nothing in there. You know,
This second Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Yeah, so the sown places are being unsown. The places that's constantly being restocked and reshelled. You know, constantly reaping. You know, produce, man. Soon it's gonna be found empty, man. Are you gonna realize, you know, hey, that's why the Lord revealeth his mysteries to his servants. Or, you know, he put us up on game, so we gonna know the signs, man. When gas get hooked up, you know, the next thing to get affected, all right, main thing is gonna be the transportation of these goods. All right, and with these tariffs in place, man, you know, hey, that's gonna hike it up even more, man, because you know that means for China or these foreign countries to sell their goods over here, it's gonna be a tax on that shit, man. You know, they're gonna raise the prices up, man. So, you know, certain things might seem cheap at this moment. You know, things that you really not you know, that ain't nothing. Like now, man, you know, you see TVs going with a little, you get a 50-something inch, 55-inch underneath. Yeah, that sound cool, but you know, hey, what's really gonna be held in high regard, man, is gonna be the food, man. All right, when food start matching the prices of these appliances, man, that's really what people be hurting. No matter, if you rely on the government or you get your own bread, man. All right, that was saying Revelation. Hey, a day's wage. All right, that's how much it's gonna be for a loaf of bread. All right, so these storehouses are gonna be found empty or very scarce.
Yeah.
So when something is scarce, all right, a lot of times it be held in high demand, or basically when it's in high demand, but you got a scarcity of it, the value of it goes up. All right, so the value of certain things that you ain't seen no value in gonna be up. And the value in hygienic products when they high already, well, imagine it being even higher. All right, yeah, like wet wipes, all that, man, gonna be high, man. So yeah, so hey, it's gonna get rough out here.
Yeah, I got another. That was it. I got something else for you, because this is all gonna lead to family.
Get started.
Because when as the brother broke it down, the sudden, the full storehouse is suddenly being found empty. It's gonna be a sudden thing, man. I hit with the Publix the other day, and noticed, like, with the fruits and stuff, that a lot of things was empty. And soap and lotion is going up. I mean, this cocoa butter I get used to cost me $1, bro. That shit almost $5. Yeah, so shit going up, but everything, like what you was going into about the days pay for a loaf of bread, that's all gonna lead to famine, because people ain't gonna be spending up. People just gonna take that shit.
Yeah.
People just gonna go in there, grab that shit, like that cop on that World War Z. How he, down in Shorty account, how he had, just went in the store and got what he needed. Hey, that's how it's gonna be. But I got this piece up for you, because it's gonna lead to famine. This is Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for they find a way, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field.
Yeah. So it's better get slain by the sword than to die of hunger, man, because that's not a quick death, man. All right, so people, the scripture said that, hey, people gonna try to seek death and shall not find it, man. They gonna wish that they got taken out by the sword. All right, it's gonna really be hell on earth, man. People just gonna be living in agony and pain, man. Hunger pains. All right, when the pestilence coming out, have sores. They're gonna be dealing with ailments. All right. And the scriptures always talk about, it deals with, speaking metaphorically about agriculture and things. All right. It's gonna be like, like vines is not bearing fruit. That's a famine all day, man. All right. That's time we coming in, man. All right.
This Luke chapter 4 Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So hey, you get out of here. You won't have that want. All right, but hey, man, hey, it's like a burden lifted off of you being in the spirit world, and you don't have to worry about what people gonna deal with here in the physical. All right, hey, man, hey, imagine, cause y'all had them experiences growing up. All right, you going a day or two without food, cause hey, a bowl of cereal, but so far, you only stretch out a bowl of cereal for so far, man. It'll do nothing so much for your belly before you gonna be craving real food, something of substance, all right, something with nutritional value. A lot of this food don't have no nutritional value, so without it, man, hey, you gonna be suffering out here, man. Alright, it is double. Alright. None of this stuff is of nutritional value. None of this stuff is of value for you in general. Alright, it don't feed you shit or feed you physically. So a lot of y'all people is so a lot of you people are malnutrition on so many levels. Alright? So it's gonna get so bad to it where y'all gonna seek death, man. Alright, who got Ecclesiastes 12?
I was gonna get this next verse.
Alright, kind of.
It says, the head of pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people.
Damn, so people gonna start eating their own children. Alright? A lot of you women got healthy kids too, man. Just like the famine in Samaria, man. Y'all women gonna resort to eating each other's kids, man. Oh, we gonna eat my son this day, we gonna eat yours that day. Oh, I got about 3 daughters, we can stretch them out for the next few days. How it's gonna play out. But it's gonna be bad, man. Alright, and that mainly fit you women relying on the fucking system, man. Y'all got no man in the house. Alright? And a lot of y'all women deal with degenerate men, so they gonna be eating your children as well, resorting to cannibalism. Alright, I'm selling your children off for a pack of ramen noodles, man. Alright, because the ramen noodles are non-perishable, man. Them things can last forever, so they will still be running to those. Or you know how people did, they'll smack the pack on the ground, shit up. You know, hey, Jake be so down bad, they eat ramen noodles raw, man. No water at all, man. For the season, just crunching on that shit, man. Eat that bitch like a rice cake. Yeah, man, so hey, Jake got certain ways, certain things that they can maneuver around family. Alright, but you people that ain't used to it, man, y'all gonna be through, man. Y'all gonna do something that you never thought you would ever do. Alright?
Ecclesiastes 12?
Oh, yeah.
That was it on that. Oh, did you already have
I
it?
got Ecclesiastes 12.
Oh, okay.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, in verse 3. It says, it says, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the door shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be low."
Yeah, so this society gonna be done. It's already there, but it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get progressively worse through the rest of our duration here in Babylon. Alright, the keepers of the storehouse, alright, you know, they gonna tremble. You know, people gonna worry about people busting down their doors and looting and ransacking their place of business. Alright, you know, the grinding gonna cease because there are few workers. Alright, these cities gonna look very desolate. The scripture say a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because one is gonna be over harsh lockdowns. Also, man, a lot of these cities gonna be abandoned. Alright, like certain things they'll set up. Alright, certain places of leisure, people go and hang, like a place in Malden. Alright, when the pandemic came through, man, certain places hurt. You know, now you drive past certain places, they got basically plywood and shit plastered on the walls and shit. Alright, on the windows. Like it look like a ghost town, look vacant. Alright, certain places or certain places of the head high traffic people going there every weekend, man. It look like damn, it's like nobody never even partied there or went there to hang out. Alright? You know, so hey, you know, the grinding is made low, the daughters of music is low. You know, hey, certain areas, man, it's no more that partying and bullshit in the city, man. Alright, certain frequent Jake spots. Alright, hey, you know, it's just dead in certain areas, but it's gonna happen like that on a mass scale throughout all of America, man. The grinding, alright, grinding gonna cease. Alright, you know, but it's gonna mainly hit. You see now, which a lot of Jake already went to these bars and stuff, but it's more of a higher level, more frequent of Jake. You know, they're not going to certain clubs They come into the bars and stuff. All right, you know. But hey, man, but soon the Lord gonna do away with all that partying and bullshit spirit. All right, that's why now you can't even go to a bar like that, because ever since they made it legal to carry firearms, people they getting shot, getting stabbed, all kind of shit, man. So now they trying to carry over and find a new wave. The streets is dead, people with this new generation and saying how stupid streets, let's get exposed. So now, man, people trying to find a new wave. Say, hey, man, nah, this place is done, man. It ain't no finding a new wave and none of that, man. Hey, the whole culture of America is dying out, man. The whole capitalism spirit. Because, hey, this new generation not with that capitalism shit, man. That's why they having a hard time, all right, trying to push certain ideologies on this new generation. That's why they just gonna quit with that the MOTCB, that rock. All right, they gonna force it on them, man, because this the witchcraft and sorcery of the wicked is not working as heavy as it was. Why they gonna just put the vision out? You know what? It's gonna come down with great wrath after a short time, so it's gonna come down with it, whether these people are with it or not. So hey, everything that we see is just gonna keep on ceasing, all right, to thrive. All right.
You said 2 Corinthians 15, right? Or do you already got that?
I got 2 Corinthians 16.
Yeah, let's get this real quick.
Did you want 15?
Y'all do want that. A while ago.
Yeah.
Y'all do want 15. Alright, let's get 16, start at verse 17. Alright, because we are at the end, man. Alright? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the world that follows, man. So Esau, man, that's why and they rephrase certain words. This is what I hate about Edomites, man. They'll take certain terms and rephrase it. Alright, because there was one woman, she had put black fatigue, she came up with it. But ultimately, black fatigue, I forgot what the word, what the whole phrase initially meant, but Esau took it and made it seem like, it means being tired of black people. But Esau just finding any excuse to not take blame for their country falling to shit, man. They want to blame Jake, man. All right, but yeah, but this is you got it, bro.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse, you want 17?
Yeah, 17.
It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days?
Yeah, so every said, woe is me. All right, who would deliver, him in those days, knowing that he was going to be here, all right, at the end, man. Because he saw visions of being here at the end. So he's seen the destruction, the judgment going out. All right, in these last days, it's playing out as we speak. All right, you got it.
Yep. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
Yes, so this is the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, this is the beginning, man. Hey, Trump, man, he's just the beginning of evil what's to come, man. All right, we ain't even seen what's yet to come to pass, man. With the Agenda 2025, Agenda 2030, they keep renaming it all the fuck they want. Big beautiful bill. We already know what it is, what the road into. All right. So hey, this is the beginning of sorrows, man. The beginning, of great mournings, people lamenting. All right. It says it's gonna be weeping and gnashing of teeth, man. A lot of people gonna be sobbing and crying, man. All right. So it's the beginning of famine, man. Great death, wars. All right. The people is gonna see, the power of this devil about to come down with this wrath, and they gonna stand in fear, man. Because if you don't got the spirit of Yahweh Shai, the Lord not dealing with you, when you see this devil come down with his wrath, you're gonna lose all hope in him. You lose all hope in general, man. All right, we see people, houses getting ransacked and bust through. All right, because right now, man, looking at what's going on in Chicago, they gotta paint their image. They gotta paint their image in your head right now. this ain't really hit the whole country yet. It's only hitting certain areas, certain strategic areas. All right, because they want this to be made normal to you, witnessing. All right, that's why they got the militarized police out there. Yeah, that's why they got the militarized police out there, because soon that's gonna be a normal thing, seeing a police officer in military gear policing your streets. All right, they trying to condition you right now. All right, you got it, bro.
Yep. Verse 18, the beginning of, already right there. Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Yes, y'all people not mindful of the scourges. All right, y'all ain't mindful. All right, y'all don't think nothing of what's gonna happen, the end all be all, man. Y'all not mindful of the wrath of the Lord, man. Famine, plagues, pestilences. Y'all don't think nothing of this. And the scriptures say, when you in a good case, you don't think of the bad, man. All right, when you living pretty well, all right, don't worry about what you gonna eat the next day. You know, that ain't a thought of your mind. You ain't worried about that. You know, you living in pleasures. You know, you don't think not of when you down, man. All right. You know, so when that hell come, you ain't gonna know how to act, man. You're not mindful of the scourges, man. All right, but hey, the Lord gonna remind you and allow you to see it and suffer through it. That's gonna be a lot of you people's tribulation, man. Some of y'all gonna be allotted to the famine. Many people gonna perish because of famine. All right, you got it, bro.
It says, verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evil upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Well, that's a lot of that going on. A lot of confusion, famine. All right, victuals is good cheap. All right, you still can get a deal here and there on certain things, but hey, man, they ain't gonna last so long, man. All right, they ain't gonna last for so long. All right. So y'all think y'all set to be in good camp? Think that you know y'all seen a gas go up a couple cents to go back down. You know, which y'all surprised about my way. It went down as low as 261, man. All right, that somebody will see that. Oh damn, gas going down. They good. Then the next 2 days, it should go up down there 295. You know. So yeah. So hey, man, you know that'll happen. You'll see something, and you be like, damn, you know. Think you got it good and made, but shit can change overnight. All right, we can wake up one day, they could enact martial law. Basically, they can, okay, y'all gotta get, what they gonna do is gradually, like, oh, you know, you gotta get this identity. Yeah, they go, oh, you gotta get your, what's it called, the ID thing for your license, digital ID, and all this. Just wake up one day, oh. Can't go to work until you get yourself in the system. So they gotta get your identification. All right, that can happen overnight, man. They can set this whole system in a matter of a night.
They did that shit in, I think, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Or I forget where it was at, but it was millions of people that was like, you know, their bank accounts being closed or something like that. They had to get on the digital.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the Philippines too. There was freezing people out their accounts. They saying they was doing it because of hackers and people. Like they can easily blame it on some bullshit. They be like, oh, you know, you can't access your money. We gotta know it's really you. So you gotta set up a whole new account, set up your whole identity on that shit.
The whole time was really done.
Yeah. So they can do that shit. They gon' that's what they gonna do. They gonna lead people. That's why they say wide is the gate to destruction. Because a lot of people gonna really be force fed and led to taking this rock. And they ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. All they gonna hear is, oh, I can't get into my account and all this. They gonna bug the fuck out. But Lord willing, we up there fold, man. We be like, fuck it, it is what it is. We're gonna draw a line at a certain point. It's like Pastor Hart said, you know, it's gonna be a point where they'll try to use biometrics, your fingerprint, you know, your retina. Okay, that's cool. But when they say, oh, I gotta get an incision, oh, fuck no. That's where you draw the line. So they bring the high basic income and all that shit. Yeah, we can take that, but when it gets to, you gotta get something put in you. Oh no, hell.
I was gonna mention that's that great fork in the road. We seeing like the scriptures down a certain way because of the the Apostle John. He didn't see it. Well, not the Apostle John the Revelator. Yeah, he didn't see it necessarily. He saw it, but he didn't know the situation of what led to that person.
Yeah.
We're living in a time now where we're seeing how it's manifesting, and we got our apostles, elders, men that are seasoned in the scriptures that are breaking this down. Okay, now we're seeing how this can materialize, and we even with martial law and stuff, because right now we're technically in a soft martial law. They didn't come out and announce like, hey, this is martial law, but when you nationalize troops, when you mobilize the national, you got ICE out there, and you got the riot police and shit out there. That's warlike law. Martial law just means warlike law. So we're already in that. Same thing with this digital reset they're pushing. They're already phasing out physical money. They're pushing the digital IDs. And once again, there might be a time where we're dealing with it. That fork in the road, the hour of temptation is where it's going to be. Hey, everything's already pretty much crossed over. Now you need to get this within you, or you can't live. And that's gonna be when we fully unplug and we like, fuck it, we gonna trust in Yahweh Shemel Shot, because we know prophecy is about to be fulfilled in that time anyway. Once they make that MOTB mandatory, like brothers was going into World War III, hey, it's up from there, man. We ain't got long. We ain't gonna be sitting there in this system for years, 5 years. Like brothers say, we in the woods somewhere. We had to move off grid. Nah, man, the Lord gonna speed that thing up, man.
Because they already pushing 6G. Now, I saw an article yesterday. I think it's Qatar, it's something over there in that region. They're the first in the Middle East to use 6G. So, China is already using 6G. So it's looking like 6G. We thought it was going to be the 5G, but it's looking like 6G, and it would make sense because it's 6.
Yeah.
It would. So it would. It's looking like it's going to be what they're going to use for the device. And I know the brother phone about it. I just want to make one last good point. So I know, like what you were saying about how when they get to the point with the incision, that's the mark, and that's when you draw the line. But what I see them doing with the whole digital shit, they may try to, how certain banks be like, if you get with us and you make this amount of money in 30 days or whatever, deposit it, then we'll pay you like 200. Certain banks do that. I see with this shit, since it's a whole new system, they might, they reel people in. Yeah, we'll give you, $500 or something if you sign up with us, and hey, bros, jump on that, because that's not the MOTB. That's the precursor, and we're gonna have to use it anyway until when they get to the device. Then, like what the brother said, that's when like, man, fuck that.
That's how they do that shit with the betting. You get on that shit, and they, you sign up for prize picks, you get a 50% deposit match. They gonna do the same shit, bro. I can see it, bro. I can see it, man. You sign on, and then they might do a what they call it, the referral. They might do a referral service. So then you got Jake putting their cousins on and shit, and they gonna get some extra money from putting their cousins. Man, look at
they gonna be sick.
he saw, bro. We not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We know how this devil get down, man. He gonna make this shit sound sweet, man, to these people, especially when the economy's already fucked up. Like, well, it makes sense to do this, But hey, the Lord, that's why the Lord was so stern on forewarning us not to take it, man, and to stand firm even unto death. It is that serious, man. You gonna have Jake be like, oh, it ain't that serious. The Lord gonna forget. No, it is that serious. There's judgment for taking that MOTB, man. And that judgment is gonna be, you're gonna be tormented with fire and brimstone before the presence of the holy, the Lamb and the angels, man.
Let's get that verse 22.
Yeah.
Close out.
Verse 22, it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth